Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Matt, and you've reached King Tridents Tribe. Hello, Tribe. How's the Good Vibes Soul Tribe doing this awesome Sunday? You know, it's been a while since I've done a video, a live event, or anything except for I've been doing a lot of reels lately. Because I feel like that's a very quick way for me to reach out to and help people. And it takes a lot of energy for me to do videos, especially like this video here. This video, it took me a while to build up the energy to be able to share my experiences, and yeah, so I've been putting it off for a little while, and it takes a lot of courage. And yeah, it's just, you know, because you're sharing this with the world basically. So and not only that, I wanted to do a really good job. I always try to do a really good job, and so hopefully you enjoy this video. And if you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up, guys. You know, that helps with reaching other people, and I'm very appreciative of that. And then also comment. I love the comments, and not only that, the comments, when you comment, it actually helps other people too, because they can now, if as long as you feel comfortable commenting. Now, I'm not pushing everybody to comment, but if you want to share your experience or have questions or whatever, comment. It helps people get engaged and understand, like, they're not like the only people that go through these types of situations or have these traits. And share this with others. Share the video. Really grateful for that. And yeah, guys, thanks again, and I have so much gratitude. Now, my next few videos will be episodes of attachment style. So these are going to be episodes. I'm not gonna it's not gonna be just one video. So I don't know how many videos are going to be a part of this episode. I don't have a list yet, but I do have a few topics, and I'll share some right here, and they're in no particular order. So a few topics are going to be how I identified my attachment style, how I healed my insecure attachment style, how attachment styles apply to twin flames, and why knowing your attachment style is important. That's just going to be a few topics. It's probably going to be many more topics than that. So yeah, and you know, if you have a suggestion of a topic, feel free to put it in the comments. Or if you have a question or a suggestion of a topic, feel free to email me also, kingtridentstribe@gmail.com. That information will be in the description of this video. So anyway, I'm going to go through the bullet points for all 4 attachment styles. I'll identify my past traits as I go through it. So as I go through it, I've highlighted the traits of my insecure attachment style, and I'm going to share some insight on them. I'm going to give you some background on those different bullet points. And if you wish to follow along, I did put the link of where I got this attachment. Now, there's many links. There's so much reference out there, but this is the one that I think summarizes the best that I found. And you can follow along as I'm going through it in this video, or you can just listen, whatever works for you. And I also put in the description of this video a place you can take the test to identify your attachment style. Now, usually you have, you know, traits in 2 different attachment styles. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not here to diagnose anyone. The only thing I'm doing is diagnosing myself, which you don't need to be a psychologist to diagnose yourself. You know, you just got to be brutally honest with yourself, and that's what it really comes down to, is being consciously aware of the behaviors that you're exhibiting, and being brutally honest about it, having the courage within yourself to say, self, these are things that you need to work on, and do it. And so don't feel like that you are that you're broken or anything like that. This is not what this video is for. This video is for you to understand that, you know, if I can do it, then you can too. So I also added in the description of this video YouTube channels that helped me understand more about attachment styles as I was researching. And so maybe you could check those out if you're interested. I just put that information in there so that way that it's available to you guys if you want to view it or not. So as I mentioned, if this video helps you, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to my channel. Very, very grateful for each subscriber. I just want to throw that out there. Comments help not just me but everybody else, and share this. And I send you much gratitude ahead of time. Now let's go ahead and jump into it. So there's 4 attachment styles, and we're gonna start with the secure attachment style. Now I want to say ahead of time that I didn't have any traits in the secure attachment style whenever I was insecure at all. Now you might have a trait, but if you have an insecure attachment style, I'm not an expert, but I don't think you will have probably a trait in the secure attachment style. So let's go ahead and run through this real quick. So autonomous or secure attachment style is comfortable in a warm, loving, emotional, close relationship. Now this is the exact opposite of what most of these other traits are as I get into it. Bullet 2, depends on partner and allows the partner to depend upon them and is available for the partner in times of need. 3, accepts partner's need for separateness without feeling rejected or threatened, can be close and also independent. Yeah, most of the time, at least from my experience, yeah, you won't have that. Like most of the time, as I get down the list of avoidant, anxious, and then disorganized, you'll see that that's the exact opposite. So trusting, empathetic, tolerant of differences, and forgiving. Communicates emotions and needs honestly and openly, attuned to a partner's needs and responds appropriately, does not avoid conflict. Now, especially the avoidant, they will avoid conflict. They avoid everything almost. I mean, it just seems that way. Manages emotions well, not overly upset about relationship issues. Insight, resolution, and forgiveness about past relationship issues hurts. Sensitive, warm, and caring parent attuned to child's cues and needs. Children are securely attached. Now, these attachment styles, the insecure ones and secure ones, they're formed whenever you're a child, going through your childhood, and that's where they derive from. That's why it's so important to be a secure parent and to be able to be there for your children's needs. Now, I was not a good dad when I was younger. I mean, I would just be brutally honest about that. I was not a good dad. Did not know how to be a dad at all. And so, actually, more the term is, didn't know how to be a father at all. So, and that can cause your kids to have an insecure attachment style. So, just keep that in mind. Now let's move on to the dismissive avoidant. Dismissive avoidant. Now I had a few traits in here. So the first one, emotionally distant and rejecting in an intimate relationship, keeps partners at arm's length. Partner always wanting more closeness, deactivates attachment needs, feelings, and behaviors. Now at times I would have this trait, and it just really depended. It really depended on like who it was, who the person was, but I would have this trait at times, and yeah, I keep people at arm's length. Bullet 2, equates intimacy with loss of independence, prefers autonomy to togetherness. You know, I think at times I could have that one, but I didn't really highlight this one, but I could have that. Bullet 3, not able to depend on a partner or allow the partner to lean on them. Independence is a priority. I didn't have that trait. Number 4, I had this trait. Communication is intellectual, not comfortable talking about emotions, avoids conflict, then explodes. Now, I had this trait, and I wasn't emotionally centered, and at this time I was not consciously aware or in a conscious state, period. Cool, controlled, stoic, compulsively self-sufficient, near emotional range, prefers to be alone. That was me. Now, and I still, now, I don't mind being, like, I am very secure being alone, but I'm very fine being with somebody that respects my energy and respects my space, and that's very important. You don't want to be around any parasites or leeches or anything like that, energy vampires, such. Now, this can be a healthy trait if you are consciously aware of why you're doing it, and comfortable allowing people into your life that respect your energy and time and so forth. Cool, controlled, stoic. Okay, hold on. Good in crisis, non-emotional, takes charge. That was me. This is why I was so good at my job, was because I was very cool. Like, if it could be a fire, and then I would just be like, all right, cool. I just had no emotion, and I would just go through, just like it was normal, man. Like there was no emotion there, and I just did my job. Like, I mean, I could be flying in a plane, getting ready to crash, and didn't think anything about it. But and that's a good trait, but it can be a bad trait too, because if you're going through life emotionless, then just think about how that affects the people around you. Emotionally unavailable as a parent, disengaged and detached, children are likely to have an avoidant attachment. Yeah, I had this trait too. And that goes back to the trait before this, which was good in a crisis, non-emotional, takes charge. Now, this is where, it becomes unhealthy, is because if you're emotionally unavailable, then, the positive is more than likely you're going to be good at your job, good at crisis. More than likely you're going to be very, very successful. Most of these dismissive avoidants are very, 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 very successful in their job. And a lot of times their job is more important than the relationships around them, which is why they value independence. And so the other thing that you need to keep in mind is, with the dismissive avoidant, is, vulnerable to them. Vulnerability is weakness to them, and they would do everything possible not to be vulnerable at all. Now, I didn't like to be vulnerable either, because I looked at it as being a weakness, and I didn't want to allow people to become close and see what my vulnerabilities were. But as I became consciously aware and secure, I looked at it as, hey man, I can use these things. I mean, for one thing, I can acknowledge that I had these things, and I can help others be able to heal themselves. Because honestly, guys, you have to feel it to heal it. And but you have to be able to do that in your own time, whenever you are comfortable. Like, I'm not going to force somebody to feel it to heal it, but I will tell you that is the most gratifying moment, whenever you can release those chains. Basically, when you feel it to heal it, you're cutting all the chains that are attached to you. So just think about that. Now let's move on to preoccupied anxious. So one note is so I think I was primarily a preoccupied anxious, but had a secondary traits is a dismissive. So usually you have two of these attachment styles. You'll have traits in. One's going to be more your primary insecure attachment style, with traits in the other. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but this is just information to help you do your own research. I put stuff in the description so you can do research for yourself. But yeah, So here, as I go through it, I'm going to show you, and I think, oh yeah, I did. So I had all of these traits, I had all of these traits for preoccupied anxious. First trait, insecure in intimate relationships, constantly worried about rejection and abandonment, preoccupied with relationship, hyperactivities, attachment needs, and behavior. Now, fear of abandonment. So that really did derive from being a child. So, and I'm going to get into that in another video. But as you see, a lot of twin flames, especially the chaser. The chaser usually is probably an anxious attachment style, and they have fear of abandonment because they scared that that person's leaving them. And I'm gonna do a video about that too. So needy requires ongoing reassurance, want to merge with partner, which scares partner away. Now I did all of these traits. I had all of these traits. Ruminates about unresolved past issues from family of origin, which intrudes into present perceptions and relationships, and fear, hurt, and anger and rejection. Overly sensitive to partners' actions and moods, takes partners' behavior too personally. Yeah, I would do that. I would take their moods and stuff. I would think it was me. I would think that, what did I do? Are you treating me this way? You know, but once I became consciously aware, then I started understanding that the things that I'm doing, especially being in a secure attachment style, is not, don't take things personally, man. Really allow that person to be who they are, you know, allow them to be who they are and take it for face value. Highly emotional, can be argumentative, combative, angry, and controlling, poor personal boundaries. Yep, 100%, I had all of that stuff. You know, I was highly emotional because I was not emotionally regulated, not emotionally centered. Argumentative because I always thought that I was right about everything. Controlling because of my insecure attachment style. I always felt like the people that I was with were trying to leave me, and just didn't have any boundaries at all. I mean, even though I thought I had boundaries, I really didn't have healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries are extremely important. That's what I did my reel on today. So if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. And subscribe to my IG, which is probably where I'm gonna put most of my short videos, like reels, because they're 30 seconds and YouTube only allows me 15 seconds, and usually I can't get all my information in 15 seconds. However, if my videos are 15 seconds or less, then I will post them to YouTube. Communication is not collaborative, unaware of own responsibility in a relationship issues, blames others. Yep, 100%. Didn't take any responsibility for anything, always blamed everybody else for everything. And you know, that just goes back to the last bullet point, you know, being argumentative, combative, and blaming others is mixed in there with that. Unpredictable and moody, connects through conflict, stirs the pot. Yep, did that a lot. Didn't even realize why I was doing it, but I did it. Inconsistent attunement with own children who are likely to be anxiously attached. Yeah, I was very inconsistent as a parent, and like I mentioned before, I wasn't a great parent whenever I was younger. Right now, yeah, I am a great parent, man. I would say that probably once I got to around my later 30s, once I got to my later 30s, that's whenever I started becoming awakened and becoming a better parent. And so this is why it's so important for you to be able to take responsibility for the things that you are doing for yourself, because the things that you're doing for yourself can affect other people. And it's very important for you to be able to do that. And it takes a lot of courage and guts to be able to do that. Now let's move on to the last attachment style, unresolved. Now I have none of these traits, but I'm going to go through them very quickly. So first bullet, unresolved mindset and emotions frightened by memories of prior traumas, losses from the past have not been mourned or resolved. So basically, a lot of times people will compartmentalize these different traumas and fears and stuff within them, and you see this a lot whenever you're talking about twin flames, divine masculines. The divine masculine will do that because they don't want to ever go back to any of those traumas. They put it away and they ignore it, and it's like it didn't even happen. Cannot tolerate emotional closeness in a relationship, argumentative, rages, unable to regulate emotions, abusive and dysfunctional relationships creates past patterns. Basically, you keep getting remedial courses. Intrusive and frightening traumatic memories and triggers, dissociates to avoid pain, severe depression, PTSD. See that in a lot of divine masculines too when you're talking about twin flames. Antisocial, lack of empathy and remorse, aggressive and punitive, narcissistic, no regard for rules, substance abuse, and criminality. Likely to maltreat own children, scripts children into past unresolved attachments triggered into anger and fear by parent-child interaction. Own children often develop disorganized attachment. Now this is the last one on here. But what I would say is it's very important for you to identify these traits, and don't worry if you have these traits. You know, the thing that's most important is that you can heal from being an insecure attachment style to being a secure attachment style. It took, and one of my episodes is going to be how I healed my attachment style. And I will just say this. I didn't even realize that I had an insecure attachment style when I had one. And it wasn't just but maybe a month or two ago that I started learning about these attachment styles, and you know, I had already healed from it, and I didn't even realize that I had an insecure attachment style and that I healed to be in a secure attachment style that I am now. But I have had a lot of tests, a lot of storms that had tested me. So basically, this is what happens, guys, is you will get, whenever you start going through, it's like you get classes, like the divine gives you classes to be able to learn what you have, and you might not know why you're going through it. So more than likely, it's going to be a difficult time in your life. But that's your class. And so you go through that, and then it's how you come out on the other side. Now, either you can come out on the other side, you know, with more strengths than weaknesses, which means that you went in with these different weaknesses, like an insecure attachment style, and you came out being a more secure attachment style. But you get these tests, and the test will, it's like, you know, at the end of each class, like you get a end of course exam. And the same thing goes with, in this case, where basically, you know, you'll get several tests, probably at least one test. You'll get at least one test, and more than likely you'll get many tests, but at least one test. And what that does is if you're consciously aware of it, you'll understand that, hey man, I don't have these traits anymore. I'm doing things totally different than what I did before. Now, if you're going through it and you didn't learn anything at all, and you're still using the same tactics to try to get different results, well, that's just called insanity. Whenever you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you keep hoping that you're going to get different results, but you don't, that's insanity. So, and what will happen is you'll just get remedial courses, and you'll keep getting remedial courses until you learn. And a lot of times I always call, in the twin flames, I call divine masculines bricks, because they literally are, man. I was the same way. Like literally the brick has to crack before any information starts seeping in. And so if you're one of those types of people that, it takes a lot to get, information in, and you're more focused on the problem instead of the solution, you're more focused on the negative than the positive, well, it's like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, change your thoughts, change your life. And if you haven't read that book, I recommend you read that book, because it's a really good book. And you'll come out with a different perspective after you read that book. Actually, I think that was one of the first books I read whenever I was going through my awakening. So anyway, guys, I wanted to get this video out to hopefully help you and to get these episodes rolling. I hope this helps you. And I just want to tell you that I have so much gratitude for each one of you guys. I'm very grateful for my channel continuing to grow, and you guys being patient with me as I build my creative ability. And so thank you very much. Each and every one of you is very important to me. I send you much healing, love, and light. And remember, the 3 most important things in life is peace, love, and happiness. You guys have an awesome, awesome day, and I'll see you next time.